Michiganders can be a superstitious bunch. We find all sorts of reasons to explain the world around us, sometimes pulling from science, sometimes tradition, and sometimes from our imaginations. What happens when we can't readily explain our experiences? And what happens when a ghost story gets out of hand? Do these legends stem entirely from fantasy? Or are people seeing things no one can truly explain?
I'm Krista K. Coburn.
And I'm Kay Gray.
Welcome to Haunted Mitten. Welcome to Season 7 of Haunted Mitten.
Hey, we did it!
It's hard to believe we've gotten this far. It's pretty wild. Thank you for sticking around for another season, everybody, and hello to new listeners. Welcome. Who knew Michigan had so many haunted places and weird stuff? We're learning every day. We're finding new places.
Yeah.
This week, we're exploring some honest-to-goodness castles.
It's true.
Who knew Michigan had so many castles?
And this is just a small section.
Yeah, turns out. So let's get started, shall we, on this first episode of Season 7.
We'll begin with Curwood Castle, which is a fantastic name for a spooky old castle, located in Owasso. A replica of a Norman chateau that was completed in 1923 on the banks of the Shiawassee River, Curwood was built for author James Oliver Curwood, who lived here until his death in 1927. He was a very popular wilderness adventure writer and ecologist in a time when America didn't care too much about the environment. You know, like today.
His early life was working for a newspaper in Detroit, but when he grew tired of that, he did what a lot of us want to do right now and moved up to Canada, where he spent his time in the wilderness. He built his own cabins and spent as long as 6 months just, out there doing nature stuff before eventually journeying back to his hometown of Owasso to write up his adventures. Some of his best known works are Kazan,
Sure.
Kazan, The Wild Dog, and The Grizzly King.
So I need to read you a piece from his biography on Owasso's history website because this man had a life. Quote, he got a divorce from Cora Leon after 8 years of marriage. Their marriage had been one constructed out of the romantic mind of Curwood, which produced 2 children, Carlotta and Viola, and ended in the nonfiction realities of life. God, ain't that the truth. I just love the way that's written.
What romantic names too, Carlotta and Viola.
I know. This man was
Cora
like...
too is pretty nice, but
Yeah.
Carlotta and Viola, it's very sweet.
It's very operatic.
Yeah, like he was clearly a bit of a romantic. But wait, there's more. How's this for a bit of spooky lore? Also, from the Owasso history site, quote, after the divorce, Curwood moved back to Owasso to start a new chapter in his life. He built a home in 1909 at 508 West William Street. The front porch was blown off in the tornado that struck Owasso on 11/11/1911 at 11:11 p.m.
Dang.
According to city folklore, Curwood's family home was built on a Chippewa Indian burial ground that Chief Wasso, from whom Owasso gained its name, was buried. End quote.
Wow.
11/11/11/11.
That's what we call a curse.
That's incredible. It's sort of fitting for this guy, right? He has this very
yes, actually,
storybook kind of life, you know.
He did. From by the short accounts that I have read of Curwood is that he lived in his head, and like he wanted life to be like a novel so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately.
And this isn't too far removed from
not always
the Romantic period. And
yeah. Curwood Castle was finished in 1923, and James and his new wife Ethel moved in. He wrote several novels from the tower overlooking the Shiawassee River. But alas, James would only spend 4 years in the home. He died in 1927 of blood poisoning, thought to be from a spider bite.
Man, anything will give you blood poisoning. That's wild.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the castle itself. Per Wikipedia, quote, Curwood Castle is a romantic interpretation of a Norman chateau. It has an irregular plan with spires at 3 corners. It has a slate covered gable roof with chimneys linked at the base, extending from the rear gable facade. The exterior is made of yellow stucco containing decorative, randomly spaced fieldstones Curwood chose himself. The front facade has an entrance framed with fieldstone between 2 spires covered with a projecting shed roof. End quote. It actually looks very adorable. I mean, it's like something out of a fairy. If you can guess from the
It is.
description what you're picturing, it's something out of a fairy tale. I mean,
Yes,
and of course,
exactly.
you can look up pictures as well. But yes, it's very fairy tale. Today, it's a museum, of course, dedicated to James Curwood and Owasso. In fact, it hosts the Curwood Festival every year in June. We should totally go check it out. It's not that far.
It's not that far. I guess I should read one of his novels or try to.
Yeah, read up on Curwood.
I guess Kazan, the wolf dog, was made into a movie. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, we
Find the
should try
movie.
check that out too. Yeah.
It might just be called, it's either called just Kazan or just the wolf dog. I can't remember.
Okay. I can watch a movie faster than I can read a book.
Okay. The spooky stuff. Visitors and passers-by alike have witnessed apparitions and shadow people. This includes a small group of spirits that linger outside the castle. Reports say there are 3 individual energies within the castle, but no one really expounds on who or what they could be. It wouldn't surprise us if James and Ethel hung around, or any of the subsequent folks who cared for and loved the place. And according to Ghost Quest, drivers have seen people in the windows of the castle long after the museum has closed for the night.
There have been a few posts online that connect the hauntings in Rosevere Park to Curwood Castle, but they are a little over 2 miles apart from each other, so maybe not. We're just wanted to point that out. That's
Yeah.
happened a couple times. I think people have mixed up locations we've mentioned on the show.
Yeah, I think people are just confusing where each thing is, which is fair. And 2 miles is not exceedingly far, but it was on like my favorite place, the shadowlands.net. And it was just connected, like it was in the same little chunk of text. And I would probably put those in separate chunks of text.
Right.
I would really love to know more about Curwood's hauntings, but there's just not a ton online, or if the stuff that is either connected to Rosevere Park, or it was posted so long ago that I really want something a lot more updated. It's closed for winter, but maybe we can go starting in spring.
Yeah, we should ask some of our friends, see if they've investigated it.
Danny. We'll move on now to Holland Castle and Castle Park. I'm going to start off by saying this place is not open to the public. It's like some luxury living community because it's Holland, and of course it is.
Yeah, of
But
course it
the
is.
castle on the property is truly magical.
The castle itself was built by Chicago businessman and German immigrant Michael Schwartz, sometimes spelled with a TZ, sometimes a Z. They just spelled that name so many different ways back then. They still do. What am I saying? It was in 1893. It was for him, his wife, and their 6 daughters and 2 sons.
That's so much.
It's lots of children.
That's so much.
It was built in the German style to reflect the homeland Schwartz was forced to flee the Franco-Prussian War, or so says hauntedhouses.com. From castlepark.org, quote, as legend has it, he wanted to set up his own feudal estate in the New World so that he might shield his 6 daughters from the bewildering ways of a swiftly developing industrial society, end quote. Take that how you will.
Yeah, I'm just going to grimace a little bit because I know what's coming. Later on, it became a summer camp, of all things, and then a summer hotel. But the real magic comes from a local legend. It's been retold everywhere I could find on the castle that L. Frank Baum, author of The Wizard of Oz, was inspired by Holland Castle for scenes in his book. Wizard of Oz was published a mere 6 years after the castle was built, and it's known that Baum had a cottage just 2 miles away from the place. So let your imagination wander. I haven't read the book Wizard of Oz. Do not email me about it. So I really can't say if one castle resembles the other or not, but I like the story.
Yeah, and there are a lot of places. I'm having vacation up there. There are a lot of places that claim that they inspired the Wizard of Oz.
Got
Um,
it.
Whether that's true or not, we don't know. You can't say for sure.
Unless we resurrect Bomb from the grave and ask.
Yeah, I mean, speaking as a writer, I mean, I'm inspired by everywhere.
Yeah,
Different places I go, I usually can't say one specific place inspired a specific thing. It may have informed that thing that I wrote,
yeah,
but so
yeah.
did he
It's
spending his
super
time up
rare.
there inform his writing? Probably.
Yeah, of course.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, but did he take this place and go, "Yep, that's it. That's my castle." We don't know.
no
We don't know.
idea. Yeah, eh. But it's a nice story.
Yeah. And is
It
it
doesn't harm
possible?
anybody.
Sure. Yeah.
You know how much we love Michigan made Lynn B Designs 5 free vegan nail polish. Now we can all further pamper ourselves with scented cuticle oils, a quick absorbing and moisturizing blend of jojoba and grapeseed oils with vitamin E and perfume. Wrap yourself in the delicious aromas of chai spice, pistachio dream, fall vibes, or gummy bears if you're feeling sweet. Peruse all the new scents at linbdesigns.store. Once again, that is linbdesigns.store. We love you. I own so many of your nail polishes. Thank you.
So the haunting comes from the original Schwartz family. Legend says that Michael Schwartz kept his daughters well away from society, as we said, going so far as to isolate them inside the castle. One daughter managed to escape the castle and fell in love with a local young man. The two lovers tried to elope, made it just out of town before Schwartz caught up with them. He dragged his daughter home. The tale splits a little here depending on where it's been posted, but either the daughter locked herself in the castle tower or her father locked her in there. In the former tale, the family convinces Schwartz to move closer to town and let them have a little more freedom, so incidents like this didn't occur again. In the latter, the daughter is locked up indefinitely. She spent her days and nights looking out for her love to come save her.
Great. So
Romantic, but
now,
very tragic.
yeah, for real.
Yeah, yeah,
I much prefer the former to the latter.
sure.
I would hope
Yeah.
that his family could convince him to like relax a little bit. It's all right.
Mhm.
The world is not as scary as you think, but neither could be true. Who knows?
Right. They both sound like fairy tales.
Yeah. Well, we are talking about castles. So now, regardless of what story is actually true, the Schwartz daughter can be seen standing at the windows of the tower on moonlit nights, presumably still searching for her lover. Passers-by have seen what they believe to be a young woman staring out toward Holland. Hauntedhouses.com suggests that other hauntings in the house may be family members who come to visit the daughter, which is actually kind of cute.
Yeah.
But it's perfect for a fairy tale though, and just of course that's the kind of story that comes out of a castle on a lake.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. It's that, again, like with Kerwood, it's that romantic ideal.
Yeah.
Okay. Our next stop is no longer a castle, but a set of pillars and some ruins between Chelsea, Manchester, and Grass Lake. It's called the Pink Palace and has some crazy tales attached to it, passed down by locals and people out looking for a thrill. We will say this one is also private property, so proceed at your own risk, please.
So all we really know about the Pink Palace are the wild rumors and maybe some history. This history comes to us from Vocal Media in an article titled The Crazy History of Grass Lake. Turns out that little town has a wild past. But I think as we look into more of Michigan's history, we discover that a lot of our more unassuming places have some skeletons in their closet, literal and non.
Oh, yeah.
Based on the amount of stories I found out about Grass Lake, it might just make an appearance in its own episode. There was a lot.
Interesting.
I
Put
know.
that out there.
Not that big.
Okay. As for the Pink Palace, which I kind of love that name, Pink Palace.
It's great.
So what we can relate is that the Pink Palace was a large Victorian house in the early 1800s. That wouldn't be Victorian. You know what we mean. It's an old-timey house.
Yeah, yeah, dude, this is what the internet tells me, okay?
Yeah. So it's a large home, early 1800s. Um, so here's where it gets dicey.
Yeah.
um, because I don't want people coming at me in the comments, all right? So, yes, when the United States got its little claws on the territory that Michigan is a part of, it banned slavery. However, people who were already living here and already had enslaved peoples living on their land, working on their land, they were allowed to keep them. They're sort of grandfathered in, okay?
Fucked, but,
So, yeah, there were people still in bondage and but till Michigan became a state, basically.
yeah,
Technically slave free, in practice not, okay?
right.
So,
Correct.
quoting this
Do
article,
not
quote,
do not come for us.
yeah, like don't yeah, it's history, folks. It sucks. I'm sorry.
Yep,
So quoting the article, quote, it is believed that the original homeowners were also southern bred slave owners, meaning they did not want to set their slaves free and treated them poorly. End quote. No actual information on the residents, and also they could have been French,
yeah,
because the French people that were living here had slaves.
yeah,
The British people who were living here had slaves. It was just a thing that was part of Michigan from the day that Detroit was founded,
yep,
frankly,
yeah.
and which was founded by
Like,
the French. Remember, it was founded by the French in 1701. So it's a really complicated history. We're not getting into that, but the Pink Palace. This is the story that goes along with it.
yes, and I emailed the Grass Lake Historical Society. They had absolutely zero info to offer. It might have been because I said I was from a paranormal podcast.
Yeah,
They
there's
didn't
that.
have info, but we took a haunted Chelsea tour, and our lovely guide talked a little bit about the Pink Palace, basically kind of what we're
Mhm.
about to tell you. And I asked for more history on the house, and she said, "Nope, it was just a house. It was just a regular, just owned by people, and it was indeed pink, which is called why it was called the Pink Palace."
Palace.
But she also didn't have any further info, so
Yep.
I
If it
got
was a
nothing.
farm, which it probably was a farm, given the area,
Everything
they
out there is a farm.
very very easily could have had enslaved people living there. That's all we got.
Yep. All right. Anyway, place is haunted, yo. So,
They're ruins, man. Of course they're haunted.
I know, I know. So the first and biggest rumor to go along with the house is that these possible slave owners didn't want to let their slaves go free. So instead they killed them and buried them right on the land they worked instead. There is supposedly a small family cemetery outside the foundations with a few gravestones still showing. These were incredibly common because, old times. This is just
Yeah.
not that had this atrocious act actually happened, they would have buried their slaves in the family plot, but there's no evidence to say that this happened. And family cemeteries were just like the way that you buried people because people
Yeah,
needed to get buried.
you buried them somewhere on your land.
Yeah, that's just how this worked.
Yep.
This rumor also led to the shack at the back of the house being called the quote unquote slave house, where investigators have claimed the most activity happened. The feeling coming off of it was so negative that plenty of folks were too scared to venture inside.
Wow, rude. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Again,
So,
this is what
yeah.
the internet tells me.
I know it's one of those. Well, it's so funny because we are in the North, and yes, we had slavery. But these are stories you typically hear about Southern plantations, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like the cabins where the people lived. You are now haunted and all this bad negative energy. Like, yeah, of course, there's negative energy. People suffered there.
Yeah,
Uh,
of course.
but
Yeah, it is
anyway,
very strange to talk about Michigan and talk about like
yeah,
what we kind of think of as a traditional plantation haunting,
right. That's kind
right?
of what this is. Even though it's obviously a much smaller operation back
Yes,
then.
yeah, 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 but yeah, it's like a lot of the stories that come out of, like, Myrtle or, the other one that burned that I can't remember the name of. It's like
Yeah,
those.
burned. It can die in a fire. Ah.
Pretty much. Bye.
Um. Yeah. So next, this is another talk about like your stereotypical plantation stories. Next, the satanic cults and rituals that supposedly happened in the house where it stood. Because why not bring that into it?
I
Uh,
feel like we should start playing bingo.
right? This is kind of like that. So WFMK says, quote, thrill seekers, aka trespassers, have claimed to witness spray painted symbols and pagan terms, an upstairs bathtub and wooden floors with dried blood stains, end quote. Uh, you know how we feel about anything labeled satanic. It's just it's people goofing around.
What the hell is a pagan term?
Like, yeah. And why would you be spray painting it? And like and dried blood, it's probably rust or
It's
dirt
probably rust or
or
red spray
like
paint.
yeah, it could be a million things.
I'm just like, oh
Yeah, and like
no,
pagan terms like what?
Samhain,
Aph- Aphrodite.
uh,
Woo.
Thor,
Yeah.
uh, Beltane.
Oh my
I
god.
have nothing.
What if the spray painted symbols were Thor's hammer?
That'd be amazing.
I want some real pagan graffiti out there, friends.
Yeah, if you tell me
Only
there's
in
a bunch
safe
of like
places.
pagan
But like
shit on a wall.
yeah, because like we all know what they mean. They're talking about like the upside down stars and like stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah,
But like
yeah.
no. I want Thor's hammer.
I want a Triskel up there. I want a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
I you know?
Let's make this real pagan shit.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. If you're gonna do it right.
do it right. If you're gonna mess around, do it right.
Correct. Come correct. Anyway, there was also apparently a slaughterhouse on the grounds because I don't know how else you would make your meat into meat.
Yeah, how aren't you gonna get your meat?
I don't know.
You live on a
That's
working
fine.
farm.
I don't think people understand how farms work.
No, I don't think so either. Especially old timey farms. I mean, now you
These
might
are old timey
send your
farms.
animal off to the
Yeah,
slaughterhouse, but back then
right.
would have done it
You were the
yourself.
slaughterhouse. You were the slaughterhouse.
Yeah,
So in this slaughterhouse, people have seen intestines hanging from the ceiling, like ghost intestines. Weird lights appear. Red eyes watch you from the tree line. Electronic equipment fails in the house's vicinity. But also, the coolest part, the house itself, even though it is long gone, will fade in and out like a real ghost house.
sweet.
Witnesses have said the palace will flicker back into place, but only if you don't get too close. Take a step too far and it will disappear. That part is boss, and I want to go.
That part's unique. But like the Southern plantation fairy tales and then like the satanic panic fairy tales
Yeah.
pretty like yeah, okay, sure.
Well,
But like house fades in and out, that's cool.
that's cool. Otherwise, like, and I'm not saying this in like a derogatory way, just I'm saying this in a this is a perpetuation of tropes. Like
Yes.
a bunch of people saw this creepy old abandoned house and like came up with the stories that they had probably heard before, that movies and books have told before and shown before, and they just carried on and maybe even created a haunting in this
Yeah.
spooky old place with all of the tropes that we just kind of know in modern times. These are just modern day haunting tropes.
Right. And how well do modern folks know the history of like would they have known that there were enslaved peoples in Michigan in the early 1800s?
I
I
mean, I
don't know.
guess it depends on how far back
Yeah, how far
these
back the lore goes.
the lore goes, because we don't have any history on the house itself, really. We don't have, I don't know what family lived there. I don't know when they left the house. I don't I don't I
Yeah,
don't I don't have any I don't have anything, and I don't like that.
yeah. But it is cool that the ruins are still there. So like this is a real place.
Yeah.
This is a
In
real
fact,
place. You
I
can go
have the
there. Like it's
address.
not a total fairy tale.
Yeah.
Right. So we know that it was there. We just don't know anything about it, which is
Yeah. You can see it. You
kind of
can
cool,
see
I
the
guess.
pillars on Google Maps, which is
Yeah.
maybe how I found it when I was bored one day and spent 45 minutes hyper focused into Google Street Viewing down the road I knew it was on. Whatever. Don't judge me.
Yeah. So like it has all these wild stories, but we can say for a fact this is a place.
But it's also private property, so be careful.
Oh yeah, please do.
Look at it from the street.
As many of these are, unless we specifically say it's a museum, in which case go there during museum hours.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So our last location tonight is hidden in the woods surrounding Jackson. Helmer Castle is known by the older generation as a place to party. These days, it's an event center hosting weddings and other special occasions, kitty corner from Jackson College.
Yeah.
But it started with Max Helmer, violinist to the royals and nobles of Europe in the early 1900s. He inherited a stretch of property outside Jackson from his father, a banker, and decided the hilltop was the perfect place to build a secluded castle. Obviously. Uh,
Obviously.
yeah. Still in love with the old architecture of Europe, he built a 5th century style Roman hall castle right here in Michigan, like one he knew back in Nuremberg.
Crazy. We have so many, like,
I'm just gonna build myself a castle.
and like every single castle that we have in Michigan is all like a completely different style.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So, reading from Helmer Castle's website, quote, the first 5 levels of the Helmer Castle Tower were designed as bedrooms, each with their own fireplace, decorated with antiques, and are accessed by a narrow, winding spiral staircase. The 6th floor lookout was later added to fix the ceiling leak. The top floor turret is accessible only from an outside balcony staircase, not for the faint of heart, end quote. It was built with fieldstone from the area and a lot of concrete. It also has its very own dungeon, which you can only access from a trapdoor in the 1st floor. It's like a true castle,
Wow. That's a fairy tale of a different kind.
right? And like completely inaccessible to us who have trouble moving. Like,
Yeah, this will take me some time to explore,
yeah,
for sure. Let's bring my cane. Do this.
for real. Yeah, this is not like ADA accessible.
Yeah. So Max Helmer died in 1948 at age 55. It was rumored he was murdered in his home, but later evaluations determined he died of a heart attack. He's just young.
Yeah.
But that's definitely not the only story to come out of Helmer Castle. WFMK, like always, has a little article on it. The writer visited the castle sometime in their teen years with a few friends and a girlfriend. They were brave enough to go all the way up to the door and try the handle, only to hear the growling of a dog on the other side. Spooked enough already, the four friends ran from the door. They heard it open and then a louder growl and the sound of paws hitting the dirt and running.
Now, there was a woman named Edna who lived there in the 50s through 70s who protected her property with a gun and a German Shepherd, so it could have been that dog whose name was Klaus. But the writer, unable to get away, faced down their attacker with a tree branch. The sounds of an animal running for them came closer and closer and closer, and then stopped abruptly. The forest went quiet. Quote, no slowing down, it just stopped, like someone lifting the needle off of a record. What the fuck? I said. And that was it. The running didn't resume. It was as if something lifted this animal off the ground while it was running towards us. Just plain weird. End quote. Weird indeed.
Yeah. All I can think is that he was so frightened and panicked and like didn't notice when the dog had stopped and just it seemed like it stopped abruptly, but who knows?
I have
Because
no idea.
we do know there was a dog. Not
Yeah.
necessarily at this time when they visited, but there was a dog on the property at some point.
Yep.
Another writer from the site, the Mishmash Center, heard plenty of rumors about this castle when they were younger. They write, quote, countless times we attempted to find this castle, but we knew that even if we did find it, it would be guarded by the evil violinist hounds of hell. And even if we made it past them, We would find ourselves confronted a fork in the dirt road, one that led to the castle and the other to doom. If we had the good fortune of choosing the correct path, we still would encounter an impenetrable ghostly mist that was said to protect the castle at night. End quote. A few other websites have mentioned a white mist floating around the castle as well. Honestly, not unusual for Michigan.
Right.
White mist floats around my house too.
Yeah. we have fog a lot. I love that dogs are like a part of this castle lore though.
Yeah. And that there was a dog. We know that a dog lived there, and now
We know
it's
there was a dog. It was
Klaus.
Klaus.
He's been elevated to a hellhound.
He was
Good boy.
probably a very good boy.
Yeah. German Shepherds, very good. Very good guard dogs. I had one.
A member of Detroit Paranormal Expeditions somewhat recently did an investigation there, like in the past couple months, and they caught a few things on the good old ghost box, which they posted to TikTok. So if you want to see those, head to TikTok. We do not have the thing, but it's there. The ghost box is the one that scans radio frequencies, and ghosts can allegedly use the energy and words to speak through. So he got some like audible responses to questions and things like that. It's
Yep.
pretty cool.
Michigan actually has a few more castles than these we mentioned before. One we spoke about with Dan Holroyd from Southern Michigan Paranormals in our Kalamazoo episode, Henderson Castle. So go check that out if you want to hear about Henderson. But the rest of them don't seem to be haunted necessarily, publicly at least. Maybe in the future we can explore these other castles. But for now, that's all from us. As always, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, Patreon at Haunted Mitten. We also have our book out, Ypsilanti Ghosts and Legends, which turned a year old a month ago in
It
September.
did.
And if you live in the Ypsi Ann Arbor region, it's available in bookstores, Schuler's in Ann Arbor and Barnes and Noble, and over in Depot Town at This, That, and the Otter Things.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also ask at the local bookstores as well. And if they don't have it, they were happy to special order it for you.
They will.
Yeah.
Crazy Wisdom will for sure. Because that's if
Yeah,
you if you
absolutely.
if you have taken an Ann Arbor ghost tour, that's where I begin and end. So
Yep.
they are more than happy to get one for you.
And you can ask them if they're still haunted, because we did our very first episode on Ann Arbor, and it included quite a bit about Crazy Wisdom. And now that they are reopened,
Can confirm.
go,
I will
go
tell
ask.
you about it after recording.
Excellent. The place will never stop being haunted. It'll never stop being haunted. Promise.
And as always, happy haunting.